You shared a bit about Tim Ferriss' book, Tools of Titans. What this summit is like the Tools of Titans, but for millennials entrepreneurs. So if you
Say something.
I'm like, it should be working now.
Hey, Eric. Good morning. In my time.
Well, it is like 2 p.m. in my time. So yeah, good afternoon then.
I am so excited to talk to you today because you have founded the Millennial Success Summit. And this year is 2017, the second year. And I would love for my New York realers to know you and your summit. So that's why I call you today. So how are you?
I'm doing good. Actually, I had the worst timing when it comes to coughing because throughout 10 days where I had to record interviews with the speakers, I've been sick for 10 days. So I've been coughing for 10 days. So if you go watch the summit, you might see me cough a lot, which is, you know when they say like anything can go wrong, will go wrong. Well, for now, like it is this way, but it is a lot of fun. But beyond anything else, it is really cool to catch up with you again. Olive, it's been a while since we talked.
Yes.
Sounds you up to pretty cool things now. Even more cool things.
Every time we talk, we have to update, right? So things happen.
The good thing with this summit is that it's going to be online. So anyone can watch it from the laptops. It is free. You have 35 experts on it. You don't have to yell over people. You don't have to pay for hotels. You don't have to pay for plane tickets. And you don't have to pay for that $50 salad that you buy at the hotel lobby or something like this.
Yes, this is virtual and it's free. So let me ask you something. To my knowledge, you were born and raised in Paris.
Yep.
And you went to school on the West Coast.
So I went to school in Paris for 17 years. Went 1 year in China for like last year of high school. And I took a gap year between high school and college, traveling in South America. And I went to the school in the US on the West Coast in Santa Barbara. And that was in a community college. The only reason why I went to community college was to save money because I had no intention to graduate. But my Asian parents really wanted me to go to school, and I couldn't go with them. Said, fuck it, I just want to drop out now. So what I did was...
Sorry, I love it.
Yeah. So
the story from the economy class? What?
Entrepreneur class.
Entrepreneur class.
Like, oh my God. Like, this was my last year of my second year. That was my second year, last semester of school. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be dropping out eventually, but you know what? Just for the sake of it, I want to take an entrepreneurship class. And I knew for the first week that it would be like the worst class I would have ever taken because, first of all, the teacher never built a business himself. There was like a sheet of paper, but it was maybe 15 questions, and they were like A, B, C, D. And basically, they would question like, are you more a leader? Are you more a salesman? Are you more someone who likes to build websites? And it was like, what? How can you make like a
you can curse on my show, by the way. Well, right. And then they just divide everybody into like 4 groups, and then they pick one person from each group or something, and make you guys create a product. But the funny thing is, your product was a real thing, and you actually used a Millennial Summit as your product. Was that true?
Yeah. So here's the thing. There was 25 or 30 people in the room, right? And she had to pick 10 products. And, she was like, after we pitched our idea and I pitched mine, like this is like an event for young entrepreneurs where they learn from other young entrepreneurs that were successful. Titles, cheesy, boring, events where people will go sell something to you. This is more like an experience for us, young, kick-ass entrepreneurs to collaborate together. And this is something I really want to create, and I know the market needs it. But when she named the projects that were approved by this entrepreneur that had never had a business, she was like, let's go for the dog
pet toy. Yes, I remember.
Let's go for the dog ball. Let's go for the spice, the spice product. Let's go for like a Kaboo, which was like a kind of a box for car. And my idea was the last one. And she was like, you know what? I knew she wanted to say, what the hell? Let's go for Eric's idea. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, cool. I'm going to prove her wrong. So throughout the whole semester, every week, we had to pitch the idea again and again and again with a different, like, what is your unique selling point? What is your customer like? What is your marketing strategy? And I had everything nailed down. I had even sales coming in, but week after week after week, I never won one single time. And I remember like having $50,000 of sales at the end of the semester, which was close to the event date, and I still lost to a dog bowl that never had any sales, that had no market or no buyers, and I was like, college is done for me. I can't do this anymore. So I went with my own route. I learned so much from my mentors, my friends like you, Olive. I mean, what you created with New York Talk Real is something that, New York Real is something that really shows how you can get creative. Like, you don't have to create a new wheel. You just have to create your own touch with it. And that's
overnight I became the CEO of the TV station.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because then you follow the footsteps of your mentor. A lot of them, they all left college.
Actually, like a lot of them dropped out or never went to college.
That's true.
The guy that opened my eyes, his name is Shannon Bolt. He's 23 years old now, but I met him like 2 years ago when he was 21 and I was 19. And I was, I was going to Johnny Dumas' house, watching the game Pacquiao against Mayweather, Entrepreneur on Fire, for those of you who might know him. And next to me was a guy named Chandler, and he was a 21 years old guy, and we were talking, and I was asking the typical questions like, what do you do, Chandler? And it's like, I help people become bestseller offers on Amazon. I was like, oh, cool, man. How many people have you helped? Well, we helped over 10,000 offers becoming bestsellers. And I was like, fuck, like, how did you do that? Well, I dropped out of college when I was 19, and now I'm on track on making $10 million in my business. I mean, he wasn't like as flashy like this. Like, he was really humble, but there's like really who he was. And it was like, those kind of people actually exist. I want to do the exact same thing. I don't want to learn from an entrepreneur teacher that doesn't have a business. I want to learn from people like Chandler. So my idea was creating an event for those people that we might have heard of, like the next generation of Gary Vaynerchuk, the next generation of Tony Robbins, the next generation of Johnny Dumas or Lewis House, and create an event for that. I had a really successful first live event, generated 6-figure summits, had 100 people, but it was really expensive. It was $1,000. But a lot of people reach out to me. It's like, hey, Rick, I would love to attend that event, but I don't have the money yet. So what I did was, with my other friends that I built a relationship with, we created a virtual event, meaning, once again, you don't have to pay for that $50 setup. You don't have to pay for the plane ticket. But you'll be able to get access to those speakers and listen to their courses, listen to 1 hour of their domain of expertise, ranging from Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Snapchat ads, Instagram, e-commerce, crowdfunding, sales, personal branding, sales funnels, lead generation, email, like anything you need to create a business online and how to get it into 6 figures. And all those people have 6 figures and above, meaning that, once again, they are not the pitchy and crappy entrepreneur teacher that you would have had in college, but people who have actually experiences and would usually charge like $1,000 to have just 1 hour with them. So this is why this summit is so deep, so close to my heart, because it's giving back to the community what I wish I had when I was 19 and, when I had this teacher. So instead, use this 1 semester class, which is actually condensed into 10 days, and bootstrap your success to next 6 figures this year, because that's my intention for all the people using and listening to this summit on February 17th.
Wow. So instead of waiting around for the perfect ideal situation, you created it yourself. And you are now 21 years old.
Yep.
I remember you told me in your early years, Tony Robbins touched your life. Can you share what happened?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was back in high school. I wasn't always a dreaming kid. I was more this nerdy kid that tried to surf around high school. I was like what I call myself a social surfer. I tried to be part of every group. Like I tried to be friend with everyone in school. Like with the cool kids, with the nerdy kids, with the geeky kids who played video games all the time, the guys who played soccer all the time, the guys who went party all the time, like you name it, like any kind of group, I tried to fit in, but in reality, I didn't belong anywhere. And, at the end of the day, even though people were texting me or having fun, but I wasn't really part of anything, and I felt like a fraud. That, on top of that, in high school, I started to become really depressed. In maybe 2 or 3 years, I maybe missed a year and a half of school. I never went to school besides the test, just went for the test, get like a C minus, barely enough to pass the semester, and went back to home and sleep for 12 hours.
I understand.
It came to a point where I didn't go to school for 2 weeks. My parents were the kind of parents that let me do whatever I wanted to do, which is good and bad in this point. But basically, I was under antidepressant, 4 different kinds. I had 4 different doctors. People, the worst advice you can say to someone who's depressed is, cheer up. You're going to be better. You should be lucky to feel alive.
Everybody's different.
Right. And I was like, fuck you. I feel bad right now, but making me feel even worse. And I didn't have interactions. I was this kid that didn't want to have this 9-to-5 job. I didn't want to become a doctor. I didn't want to become a lawyer. I didn't want to become a teacher. But that was the kind of path that was pretty much more or less designed for us.
Right in front of you. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what's the point of living? And, I couldn't picture myself living in the future and being happy because right now I feel like crap. And those thoughts came back over and over again. And for 6 months, I was suicidal and, thinking about how I would jump out from the window. Like there was one night where I was really concrete, where I even wrote a letter to myself. I've been, told myself like, this is what I'm going to do. And this is who I was going to reach out to like before I die. And the saddest point of my life was realizing that I had no one I could address this letter to. Which is funny because this very same night I was going to do it. I couldn't do it because I just felt tired. And I was thinking, the next day, like, I can just die like tomorrow. It doesn't really matter to this point. But wow. The next day is the day where I skipped school for the 50th time.
Okay.
And I went to a local bookstore. And, I've never read a book for fun. The only books I read were for school. And I just picked a random book in the library, maybe like 100 books in this English library. And the one book I picked was Tony Robbins. And it was his book, Unlimited Power. Never heard of Tony Robbins, never read a book for pleasure, never heard of personal development, but I picked this book because it was a huge book. If you guys read it, it's like 400 or 500 pages. And I thought that this book might have had all the answers I was looking for. And I went back to my house, read the book cover to cover in one day, and felt like, okay, I just felt a click in my mind. I just realized that I had to stop blaming society or whatever was outside, and I had to take responsibility for my own life. And I saved all the money I had for 18 years. I begged my parents. I worked for 3 months, and I bought myself a plane ticket from Shanghai to LA at 17 years old in the middle of school week to go to Tony Robbins events. I just heard about 3 months earlier. And I went to the room, 10,000 people in LA, 17 years old, and it was a blast. I mean, if you guys have never been to a Tony Robbins event, it's like Tomorrowland or EDM on ecstasy for personal development and like-minded entrepreneurs. Once they're like, this is it. I mean, I feel like, and
did you have to fill out those questionnaire when you joined? Because I mean, I haven't been to one, but I watch. I'm not your guru. Did you tell them you were at one point suicidal?
I raised my hand, but Tony Robbins ignored me, so that was fine. And look, he didn't ignore me, but I was like one of like hundreds of hands I rose. But in in the film, like I'm Not Your Guru, he asks you like who's suicidal. And you have like 100 people who raise their hand like, oh, I'm suicidal, and like super happy being suicidal for some reasons. And I didn't raise my hands.
Around.
Yeah, and he says like those people are attention whore, and yeah, I mean, he said that on the documentary. Like those people are looking for attention, and I was like the second batch of people who raised their hand because of how bad it was. But even though I didn't got intervention from Tony Robbins himself, he dramatically changed my life, and I just designed a better life for myself. I'm like you cannot imagine how happy I am today. I have the best friends. I'm so happy with myself. I'm working hard towards my dreams and goals, creating what I wish I had when I was younger. Every day is a blast when I'm connecting with entrepreneurs like yourself. And it really comes down to realizing what makes you really happy, like what energizes you, what makes you really driven. And for me, it's not like success, it's not money, it's not reaching out 1 million people. For me, it is sharing my journey with like-minded entrepreneurs who are total kick-ass and badasses, learning from the very best and moving along those people and creating your own wolf pack and moving to the top of this summit together so that we can change the world that we live in, so that we can give to our next generation what we wish we had. And for me, once again, it comes down to learning from people and growing as a person. And when I was depressed, when looking back, I wasn't growing. I was playing video games every day. I was going to school, which is the thing I hated to do because all the things I learned in high school or college were not practical. I couldn't use them. And third of all, the people I look up to, I wasn't around them. I wasn't feeling energized. So it's really hard for me to say that when I was depressed because I didn't have the perspective to do that. And now as I move forward, it makes sense. I mean, Steve Jobs says it best when he said on his speech at Stanford, like you cannot connect the dots looking back, looking forward, but only backwards. So that was the key to my success, which is how I created a world-class network at 21 years old. And I'm like hungry about only one thing, which is being around the best people. And for that to happen, I need to be that person that they want to be around.
Wow. Yes, I totally agree. And I mean, if you trace back to your early years, wanting to be friends with the nerds, the cool guys, the the music kids and everybody, like that is a skill, but that is also a passion of yours. And that's why now you are surrounded by all the entrepreneurial friends, and people are drawn to you to, be a part of your summit, to attend. And I'm excited for your event. Oh,
thank you.
Earlier you reminded me, because I'm reading Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, and he also mentioned in the book or on his podcast that when he was in school, when he was younger, he had suicidal thoughts. He actually ordered a book from the library. It's like How to Commit Suicide or something, and it was for some reason sent back to his old address to his parents. So his parents got the book, and then it's just like they call him up and snap him right out of it. Like, and I had my own share of being depressed and different ways of wanting to kill myself. But I think it's just very, very, the line is very thin. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, and there are so many people that are just like you, and we're never alone in this. And thank you for bringing us all together.
Yeah. I just want to highlight this fact because mental health is something that a lot of entrepreneurs do not talk about. When I created my events and I asked on stage, because we were having this health panel with entrepreneurs, I asked in the room, like, who here is depressed, who has been depressed? And 95% of the people rose their hand. This is something that's extremely common that we struggle with every single day, or could in the past. But once again, it doesn't mean you're alone. The one thing that helped me was learning and looking up to people that I wanted to be like, and realizing that I could be like them if I work hard. I mean, it might sound superficial now, but it really comes down to you, like how you take responsibility for your own life. It's no more blaming game. It's no more saying like, I'm fat, I'm dumb, I have, OCD. I have, a certain disability. But for me, like, I was depressed and I feel like I was crap. I was like, I'm like the dumbest kid I knew, and I didn't know how I could overcome that. And one thing I did was, this is it. I cannot be this guy anymore. I don't want to be this guy anymore. I invested in myself. I pushed my, I think the biggest thing for me was coming from a point where you're almost dead. You don't give a fuck about anything else. So you just take big and bold actions, because at the end of the day, like, I can go back to my bed and just cry. But between that and the moment I wake up and the moment I go to bed, I can do a crap load of things and don't give a fuck about it. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear here, but I just did it.
Yes.
But, like, at the end of the day, who cares? And I did that for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. I took a big action going to Tony Robbins events. I took big actions when it comes to investing in myself. I took big actions when it comes to going against the current of what I should be doing. And I designed my own life. Like I said earlier, in high school, I tried to fit in everywhere, but I didn't belong anywhere. So at the end of the day, what I did was creating my own space. And the entrepreneurs that felt connected to my story, to the vision that I had, that we share. It's not my vision, but our vision. But I'm just creating content to that. They just come and we just have a blast together. And now we have, like, amazing 6, 7, 8 figures young entrepreneurs under 35 who work with the very best, like Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins. Like, on the summit, we have a guy who runs Facebook ads for Tony Robbins. We have a guy who does marketing with Gary Vaynerchuk at 17 years old and as 27 years old. And that's insane.
That's amazing.
So, once again, you shared a bit about Tim Ferriss's book, Tools of Titans. What this summit is like the Tools of Titans, but for millennials entrepreneurs. So if you like this book, you can get access to 35 different industries from experts who are going to share exactly how they do things. And once again, Olive, like, thank you so much for having me here. It's always great to connect with you. Didn't get a chance to connect with you, but I want to do that very soon.
Yes. Great. Thank you for the introduction. So I'm going to provide the link below. And can you tell everyone again how they can sign up to be a part of it and how they can watch the videos? So you have to watch it within 3 days if you're not watching it in real time. Is that right?
Yeah. So the whole summit is free. 10 days, you can watch it for free. If you don't have the money or to travel, once again, you don't have to do that. You just have to put an email, and every day I'll be sending you like 4 to 5 interviews per day on a specific topic. And you can just click on it. Olive will give you the links to it. And it's pretty straightforward. If you do want to get access to the whole summit, you can buy it, which is really cheap, which is under $100. And you get access to what is worth like tens of thousands of dollars, to be honest. So once again, there's no pitch here. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you miss one day, that's okay. You can watch it again the next day. But if you miss it 2 days in a row, well, if you want to watch the interview, you have to buy it.
So I guess everyone should look up who they want to watch, and there's a schedule that will be available?
Yeah. So there's a schedule going to be available.
Put on your calendar. And you can either watch it on the same day or come back to it right after, or buy the whole summit.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Yay. Thank you so much for creating it and making it for free, because a lot of my New York reelers, they're all over the world. They're locally in New York City and also a lot in the UK and Europe, different time zones. So everyone tune in for the Millennial Success Summit 2017. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Olive. That was a blast, and looking forward to connect with you soon.
Yes. Talk soon. Have a great day. Bye.